Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Glendale Housing Authority meeting of June 3rd, 2008. May we have a roll call for the Housing Authority, please?
Authority members Draymond, Mincy,
Here.
Najarian,
Here.
Parazian,
Here.
Quintero,
Here.
Weaver,
Here.
Chairman Yusefian.
Here. May we have your report, please?
The agenda for the June 3rd, 2008 regular meeting of the Glendale Housing Authority was posted on Thursday, May 29, 2008 on the bulletin board outside City Hall.
Okay. What's next, please?
Next is approval of minutes.
So moved. Second. There's a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Authority members Draymond, Mincy,
Yes.
Najarian,
Here.
Parazian,
Yes.
Quintero,
Yes.
Weaver,
Aye.
Chairman Yusefian.
Aye. Next, please.
Next item is oral communication. Discussion is limited to items not part of this agenda. Each speaker is allowed 5 minutes. Members of the Housing Authority may question or respond to the speaker, but there will be no debate or decision. The matter may be referred to staff through the Executive Director for an investigation and a report.
Okay, I have one card. Herbert Milano. Is it about this or the budget issue? Okay. Herbert Milano. Your name for the record, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Herbert Milano. Members of the Housing Authority and city staff, it was with a significant amount of pleasure that I read in the paper about the council's and the authorities' move to proceed with a renewed report on the quality of life indicators. I find that is a very, very significant move to allow us to communicate to the public in general how we are doing with regard to many of our social, crime, and other quality of life issues. I applaud you for doing that. I hope that you can use this document in the future to set policy and to identify the gaps that we have within the city of Glendale. I would like to make a suggestion, though, when it comes to, if I may, with regard to the tone and the approach to this document. Because it is my suggestion that we set a tone of candor when it comes to creating the information that comes with this report. I've looked at this report, as you know, many times. I studied it, and I find that oftentimes many of the statements and the statistics that are being provided are provided primarily as a way to, should we say, toot your horn, rather than as a clear assessment of the deficiencies that we find. Let me give you an example. This is something that Mayor Draymond can probably appreciate. In that section, there is a discussion on the amount of artwork that is public artwork available. And there's a whole page of listings of public artwork. But anyone who knows Glendale knows that we have only 3 or 4 major sculptures here in Glendale, if you can call them major. You know, the horses on Brand, the family on sculpture there in front of the library, the Benjamin Franklin sculpture at the Exchange, and the water, sculpture that you decided to get rid of.
Gone.
Right, exactly. So you only have 3. The rest of them on that particular listing is the listing of artwork that was done by Glendale High School students inside of the high school, as if it were a publicly accessible artwork available. You know, if we were to compare the artwork that you find in Sedona, Arizona, or the artwork that you find at Palm Desert, or the artwork that you find in Portland, we're incredibly deficient. It's almost as if no culture exists in Glendale. So what I'm suggesting is that we give in this report candor. So we say, look, we are deficient compared to, or that we have not moved aggressively to promote sculpture and art in the center of town. The same thing with regard to crime statistics, because I can foresee it. It's going to say something to the effect, we have X number of policemen per 1,000 population. That's a meaningless statistic. The valuable statistics are, what is the trend with regard to aggravated assault? What percentage of aggravated assault is due to domestic violence? What percentage of aggravated assault is due to youth crime? An assessment that has candor as the clear message of this report, otherwise will become a useless report. It should not be another venue for you to massage the message to the public. And I think that we need at least one report where you can say a section where they say these are the deficiencies and these are the gaps that we aim to address. If not, when? Last night at the Homeowners Coordinating Council, I hear a presentation, and it's just like another event for you to massage the information that is given to the public with very little candor with regard to saying, we need to work on this because this is deficient, or we have not finished X objective. And so when it comes to crime or education or youth at risk and so forth, let's work towards that. I am willing to participate if you allow me. For many years as a systems implementer, I've served as a project manager to complex projects. And I would love to participate in helping to define the project and come to you with a status report on how this thing is progressing. Because I believe that it is a gap in knowledge that exists here on the dais, perhaps with your exception. But defining and presenting and communicating the status of a project is, I think, crucial. Because if you take a look at all the other things, especially the contracts that you basically set out to do, contracts invariably, the scope changes, the cost changes, and the duration change. In other words, you fail at all the three key elements of project management, again and again and again. So what I want to do is present it. How are we doing? When is this going to be completed? What are the resources that are put in place? And perhaps use it as a method of educating the council as to how a project should be conducted. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Milano, I would strongly recommend that you attend the coalition meeting, because this is done by a coalition, if I'm not mistaken, to prepare this. We just take one part in putting this thing together. And my understanding is open to the public. Am I correct, Madeline?
That's correct.
Okay. And maybe you can talk to Madeline, find out when their meeting time is, and have a meeting with them and give your input. But I'm very happy with what the coalition has decided to do. As I said in the paper, it's extremely important, and I'm pretty sure the staff will be working with the coalition and to prevent the documents. Mr. Ranjaria.
If Mr. Milano wants to act as a consultant, I'd be happy to ask him to submit his qualifications. However, we should probably give priority, if there are others who are interested, to residents of the city before we go to non-residents. But he's certainly welcome to submit his qualifications. Maybe we can have a meeting. We can discuss your background and your thoughts on the subject. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Hearing none. Yes, Madam.
Mr. Recipient, as I recall, the direction we received from the Housing Authority was to first take it to the coalition, and then if it's going to require any additional resources before we made any commitments, to bring that back to you.
Yes, and so we will hear that from you in future, hopefully. Futures soon. Okay, thank you. Any other comments from staff? Hearing none.
Adjourned. Second.
We're adjourned. Before we go to the redevelopment, I understand that
We're not going to redevelopment. We're going to the joint meeting.
Laura needs to leave because she's on...
Yes, she's mentioned that.
Yeah, so you're...
If you're having